What a gorgeous day. You are watching The Daily on Shaw TV Channel 4. I'm Kate Bergen. That is the back of Mount Benson, and we are heading towards the Beaufort Mountain Range because this is the beginning of Drinking Water Awareness Week. We're going to check out where Nanaimo's water source comes from, where your drinking water comes from. On the agenda today, besides the thrill of getting up close to a water source that travels 40 kilometers before it hits your tap, reaching your glass, your teapot, your garden hose, your bathtub, or even your toilet, we're going to check in with Kevin Stobo, a man who needs to drink a little bit more water, I would imagine, according to his personal trainer. We're going to head down to Victoria. The Tusuk First Nations are incorporating solar power into their everyday life. We're going to have a little look back at some Mother's Day sentiment as well. We'll head to Port Alberni for that. Jocelyn Matwee is here because the local naval cadets in Nanaimo are celebrating success. What drives them to success? That's our good news story for this week. But first, extreme science. Things are getting kind of crazy and nutty. Here's Annette Lucas. You are watching The Daily on Shaw TV Channel 4. I'm Kate Bergen. It is Drinking Water Awareness Week, and in celebration of that, we are at Jump Lake, which is the very top of Nanaimo's drinking watershed. This is Bill Sims. He's the manager of water resources for the city of Nanaimo. We've got something special here.
You're darn right. We've got a fantastic watershed. This is the drinking water. The lake that you see behind me is enough water to feed the city of Nanaimo for a year. And what's really neat about this is that we capture some of the rain and the snowmelt that comes off the Pacific Ocean. It's about as pure as you can get it. We capture it here, we store it during the winter time, and we release it for summertime use.
And it is, as you mentioned, pure. So I've got a bottle of water here. Let's see, this comes from Hope. This probably cost about $1.50. This is tap water. I don't know, I think this might be the better bet, environmentally wise, and well, pure is pure after all. What happens from here? We're on top of a dam now. We're actually standing on the dam.
So this dam was built to store water, as I mentioned, for the summertime use. So what we do actually, Kate, is release water downstream, and we release it it trickles downstream for about 8 kilometers, and then we pick it up at another dam that was built in 1930, and we pipe it from there all the way into the city. So we pipe it about a distance of 40 kilometers and through a network of about 600 kilometers worth of piping to get it to people's taps.
Now, I didn't warn you about this question. This one's just coming out of my natural curiosity. There is talk about another dam being needed in Nanaimo?
That's right. Yeah, we do need another dam eventually, or we need to augment our water source somehow. We have enough water here with the water we have behind us to last for about 100,000 people. And we expect that we'll hit that about 2020, so we're busy planning for our future source right now.
Thanks, Bill. So as the city of Nanaimo looks towards increasing its water source, we can look towards increasing our conservation. The water here ends up in your toilet, your bathtub. Is that really necessary? We'll have ways that you can conserve water in your everyday life, in your own home later on this edition of The Daily. It is Drinking Water Awareness Week. In the meantime, we're going to head down to, well, near Victoria. The Tusuk First Nation is incorporating solar power into its everyday lifestyle. And before we get to that, though, Jose in Port Alberni, well, he celebrated his mother. It's a little look back at Mother's Day with a postcard. You are watching The Daily on Shaw TV Channel 4. Today we have a rare and wonderful opportunity to get up close to Nanaimo's drinking water source. We are now at the South Fork to the Nanaimo River. Bill, the first thing I notice about this is it is so clean and so clear.
It's true, Kate. You know, this water is fantastic. As I mentioned before, this comes straight off the Pacific Ocean. We capture it here at this dam behind me, and we pipe it all the way into town. So we preserve the quality all the way to town.
One thing I'm going to throw in, we've been talking a lot as we've been bouncing around in the truck on the logging roads back here, the value that you get for the water that you receive for what you pay. What do we actually?
Where else can you get a ton of water, a full ton of any product, name it, a ton of product, 24 hours a day at the turn of a tap for $1.
For $1.
That's amazing.
No reason then to do your buy bottled water from the grocery store or wherever you might be. It is good value. The water is drinkable right out of the tap, something we're very fortunate to be able to do in this part of the world. Now, when you open your water bill, you might think, wow, that's too much. Well, it's not. And Bill has said, and he'll stand by his quote, that he would charge more for water if he could. So what you can do to reduce that water bill is conserve. Here to share some ways on how that can be done is Julie. Julie, what's the number one thing someone can do to conserve water?
So this week, Drinking Water Week's the best opportunity you can get to go out into your garden and test your irrigation system. As the summer months are approaching, people will be using more water outside. In fact, water use triples in the summer in some instances. So this week, if you go outside, turn your irrigation system on, check for any leaks you might see, puddles, leaks, inefficiencies, making sure you're using water efficiently outside.
And you're a big proponent of rain barrels too, is that safe to say?
That's safe to say. Rainwater catchment is something you can do that can be quite cost effective. One route you can go if you have a smaller garden are to get barrels, say around 60 gallons, attached to your downspout, and use that for watering, say, container garden by hand. If you have a bigger property, you can install a whole system of cisterns, and we're actually offering a rebate of up to $750 for people who are installing rainwater catchment systems.
And best place to go this time to get information on how you conserve water even further?
More information, go to www.teamwatersmart.ca to learn how you can conserve water inside and outside of the home.
Oh, and the spray, we're getting the spray on our faces right now. It feels awesome. We're going to throw things over now to Kevin Stobo, who's another edition of Fuel. This brings us to the end of yet another edition of The Daily. All I can say, I'm speaking for myself and for you, Derek, behind the camera, wow. This day that we've spent in Nanaimo's drinking watershed has been truly amazing, and we've actually shared a lot of information that is relevant to people who are concerned about water or want to preserve their water no matter where they live. If you're outside of the Nanaimo area, though, in the regional district, there are some things that you should be taking into account, and CHRISTINA METHERALL is with the regional district. What should people know or be aware of, especially now that we're right in the middle of Drinking Water Awareness Week?
Well, people who live outside the regional district often get their water from wells. So half the water from the city of Parksville, Nanu's, and also the water from Qualicum Beach, Cedar, Cassidy, Coombs, and Arrington all comes from groundwater. It's important to remember that we all live in a watershed, and so we all need to be careful because what we do with our septic systems, our wells, and what we put on our lawns and gardens all impacts drinking water quality.
And it is truly all connected. You can get more information at drinkingwaterweek.org. That's all the time we have for today. And again, wow, thanks for watching.